What are some foods that most people have been eating the wrong way or not the way it was intended? My dad served us underripe fruit my entire childhood because to him firm equals good and soft equals bad. The first time I had a mango that was actually ripe I was an adult and the experience was borderline orgasmic. Oh man, I absolutely hate unripe mango. That must really have been an experience. There was a comment a long time ago from a guy who found out in adulthood that you aren't supposed to eat the cupcake wrappers when someone looked horrified when he ate it. When I was a kid I wouldn't eat them but I loved chewing them. We didn't have many sweets. Exactly. It's just an extra cupcake flavored piece of gum. Ugh, I hate these foil ones. When I first ate edamame I chewed up the entire pod and couldn't figure out why people enjoyed eating them. I did realize you're just supposed to eat the bean inside the pod. Not peas in a pod. Beans. I felt so cool when I was able to teach my son this the first time he ate edamame. I mainly felt cool because I had been doing it wrong my entire life and had been corrected by a coworker just 2 weeks prior. I've been eating tamales with the husk on for years before I saw the last post of this. No one ever corrected me. And some people started to eat the husk too. Like I had some inside knowledge about it. Speak Spanish. Work as a chef. I'm fucking dumb. I still eat the husk though. Holy fiber. Apparently a pint of ice cream isn't meant to be a single serving. You can tell whoever said that to you to frick off. Bibimbap is supposed to be mixed up then eaten. Not eaten individually. It's like a special rice dish that you mix yourself. Don't people normally mix it up? One time I was eating at a Korean restaurant and my friend didn't mix it, so the waitress without prompting grabbed the chopsticks out of my friend's hand and proceeded to mix his bibimbap very angrily. He was so confused and I was cracking up. A man once sued a restaurant in Miami for serving him an artichoke which he promptly ate all of. I don't mean like he finished the artichoke, I mean that this guy, who apparently is a doctor, just ate the entire fucking thing, including all of the inedible parts. For those of you who have never encountered an artichoke, the edible part of the plant is a fleshy substance that is on the inside parts of the leaves. You scrape it off and eat that part and discard the leaves. The artichoke heart, at the middle of all of the leaves, is also edible and delicious. The stem and the fibrous leaves are not edible. Well, I guess except to this guy. When I was probably 10, my stepmom bought an artichoke, boiled it until it turned gray, pulled the leaves off, threw away the heart, served us kids the leaves, thorns and all, and was totally confused. We absolutely hated it. N.A. She was trying to kill you to put her own children in place. From the article. Well shiz. Man, don't give people any ideas. Imagine if restaurants have to keep warning you what not to eat. If the server turns his back long enough for you to gobble something inedible down you get to sue for millions. Welcome to Messy Joe's. I'll be your server tonight and I am not edible. Here is your table. Please don't eat it. Take a seat on one of our non-consumable chairs and have a look through the menu. Again, not to be eaten. As you'll see, we've strapped you down and will lock your head in place whilst pushing food into your mouths for your own safety. Enjoy. Oh my god. I ordered artichoke at a restaurant like 10 years ago and couldn't figure out why it was so hard to eat. I definitely didn't eat the whole thing. Pretty sure I gave up pretty quick and assumed they did a horrible job cooking it. I only now realized that I was just chewing on the outside leaves. I did something similar when I went to lunch with my coworkers and we all got artichokes for appetizer. I was sitting there chewing on a leaf that would not deteriorate in my mouth, and when I finally got it down, I realized everyone else was done and had a bunch of leaves on their plate ready for the plate to be taken away. Lol. My friend eats popcorn by picking the fluffy parts away from each piece and discarding the seed center. Every time I telephone him he's an idiot, but he's too stubborn to just eat a damn piece of popcorn like a human. How long does it take him to eat like a whole bowl LMAO? The entire movie at least. I do this sometimes to avoid getting the bits stuck in my gums. It's one of my most toxic traits. I don't know about most people, but growing up I always thought I hated guavas because they were so dry. Turns out, my parents used to cut out the best part, the fleshy seedy inside, and serve me the dry rinds. Pomegranates used to baffle me. I thought they were the least rewarding and most difficult to eat fruit of all time. It was only a couple years ago that I learned that you can actually eat the seeds. I thought you were supposed to just suck the flesh off the seeds and spit them out. Yeah, my parents told me not to eat them, because eating the seeds would fill up my appendix until it'd eventually burst. Such bullshit. Haha, opposite for me. Always hated the seeds. Discovered I could just commit to sucking the juice off and spitting out a wad of seed. Monsters. I had a roommate who put ketchup on his pizza. Now I completely understand that it has tomato sauce on it anyways, so ketchup doesn't sound too crazy. But one time I made a homemade chicken Alfredo pizza with white sauce, and before even taking a bite he smothered it in ketchup. Where did you hide his body? Nuts should be cracked lengthwise, not on the sides, to avoid getting pieces of the shell mixed in with the nut meat. I can't quite picture cracking a nut lengthwise. Probably because yours isn't long enough. Nut meat. I got your nut meat right here, pal. Your mom's high school nickname. Corn on the cob. Once you reach the end of each row, you must make that old typewriter sound ding and proceed to the next row. I eat it lathe style, not typewriter. If you eat salmon to have a healthy meal, it's more beneficial to leave the skin on. Just fry it with some salt, pepper until it's crispy. My mom used to give the skin to the cat. That cat would lose his mind when he saw it coming. It's the best part. Bacon of the sea. Up until a couple of years ago, 22 currently, I thought you were supposed to bite the skin off the apple then eat it. If I didn't have a knife I would spend my time biting around the entire apple, spitting the skin out, then eating it. Yep. This is the kind of WTF I was looking for. ... So, do you not have friends? Because if I was getting to know someone, hanging out with them a bit, then saw them eat an apple like that, I'd move to another fucking city before they turned my intestines into tinsel and wore my lungs as a hat. Have you never seen someone eat an apple on TV? They love making villains eat apples for whatever reason. To make them look more like an asshole. Distant cinema sins ding. Okay. So this is more along the lines of me eating a certain dish the wrong way. But when I was little my mom would make French toast, except she would put chilies, onions and sometimes chicken on it. I grew up thinking French toast was a savory dish until I ordered it at a diner and it was sweet. I still like my mom's version of French toast better, tbh. Savory French toast sounds amazing. In the UK we call it eggy bread, and my dad would frequent make it with cheese on top. Also wasn't aware it was sweet until I got older. LMFAO. I feel like eggy bread is what a character in a skit portraying a UK stereotype would call it. Not many people know, but you are supposed to remove the membrane that is on the bottom of a rack of ribs before you cook them. It makes them easier to cut and eat. And the satisfaction of taking it off in one rip. Ah. Vegemite. As an American, one was tricked into eating some as a sandwich and was convinced it was just a food meant to prank people with. An Australian friend was alarmed when I recounted this and corrected the method for me. Oh God, no. You don't eat it as a sandwich. You've gotta get yourself a nice piece of toast. Spread a good layer of butter on it. Then just the tiniest scrape of Vegemite over that. And if you can get a slice of cheap processed cheese on there, even better. Please don't dismiss Vegemite until you give it another go. This same friend introduced me to Tim Tams and the Tim Tam Slam. So who was I not to trust her implicitly? I took her advice. And I'm glad I did. Ended up buying myself a little jar because dang, that's a nice little savory punch if you use it right. Vegemite sandwiches are a thing though. Some of us do eat it that way. But you don't put great thick globs of it on there. Also mixed with proper butter, it's awesome. My grandpa would peel a green apple using this nifty little device. Then salt it and put it on a stick and give it to me. Did he salt his watermelon also? Why does that sound so goddamn delicious? Because it is. Especially if you use tajin instead of just salt. Ginger with sushi. You're actually supposed to eat the ginger slices between eating the rolls of sushi so as to cleanse the palate. Although, personally I love putting ginger and wasabi on my sushi roll then eating it in one bite. Came here to say this. Also dipping nigiri in the soy sauce with the rice part. You dip the fish, not the rice. Sauerkraut. At least for my Bavarian mill take out of jar. Rinse lightly, don't remove all the flavor. Sauté onions and carrots. Mix in kraut and broth. Simmer for an hour or so until it's tender. Eat with gravy. It's a side. Like mashed potatoes. Tell that to my relative who eats it straight out the jar. Hey, I do that and it's fucking awesome. I will sit there with a fork and a jar of sauerkraut and just enjoy it. Not others, but I don't take Oreos apart and lick the frosting off first. I just bite into them like a savage. Wait, you bite them? I just throw the entire thing directly into my mouth and deal with the aftermath. When I was a kid I used to scrape all the frosting off my Oreos with a spoon. Eat the cookies. And give the frosting to my siblings.